everybody. In this video, I am going to take you on a little field trip. If you want to learn how to paint rocks, a lot like what I did here, I'm going to show you how the fog rolls in and out of the woods and the mountains. It's just gorgeous down there. And then how the contrasts change. See how they change from dark to light? Isn't this guy huge? He is huge. I grew up in the Northwest in a family of hunters, so I got to see these elk run through the trees. I mean, literally, they lay their racks down just like that and run through the trees. It's an tangled mess of trees they can get through. It's just incredible. And of course, there's a lot of trees here. So, and this is how they call to the cows. They call them bulls and cows in the elk world. And he's bugling. And I thought of calling this call of freedom. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So, and just let me take you down to the river, and then we're going to get back and I'm going to show you some of how I paint these rocks in here. Maybe this log as well. Because I'm just finishing up on the little last minute touches on this guy. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let's go for a little field trip, just like when you were in school. So I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in a sec. It's just beautiful. Look at that. Look at the fog along the mountain, and then how the trees start to come through the mountain as the fog lifts. And they appear that way because the fog kind of mutes out all the contrasting shadows, and then as things come forward, the shadows get darker. So, isn't that interesting? So beautiful down here. This is what I love so much. Hope you enjoy. I want you to check out how the river has really washed through here this winter from all the rainfall. And also check out that fog and how the sun, as it clears, things start getting colorful again. If you look down there in the valley. So I think it's important to be very observant of things that you want to learn to paint, and also the beauty in God's creation. Check out how the sun is hitting over there on the other side of the shore and causing, letting the colors shine through. So let's go check out some rocks. Here we are right at the river's edge. It's really important, as I say, to observe your surroundings, observe every detail. Now look how the sun, as it hits these rocks, the colors start to emerge. So beautiful, and check out all the shadows as well. And even how the sun hits these twigs. And as we walk through these details in this painting, hi Louie, good boy. This is how I gather my information, my reference material, is by really being observant of how when light hits things, the colors shine through. That's a pretty pink rock right there. You know, this painting has a lot of this kind of background in it. And this is basically why I wanted to bring you down here to show you. Wow, the river really carried some of these trees down. Really cool. Okay, let me warm up my hands. Get you down to another spot. Thought I'd show you this real quick, how the sun is just coming through and just the beams of light coming through the fog. It's just incredible. I hope you enjoy this part. So let's go down to the river. Louie, look what I found. Pretty little. Look at this awesome little stick. Piece of driftwood. Look at all the different tracks. You can see, of course, people tracks, dog tracks. Oh, looky there, some raccoon tracks. Yeah, that's cool. Little back feet, and then their little front feet. Probably down here getting these fresh water oysters. Back to the river, so beautiful. It's like a field trip, like in school. Share a little bit of wonderful beauty that sometimes people miss. Oh, and Lewis had to mark his territory. So I see a spot down here to show you some spots where the sun is not connecting with the rocks, much like in the painting, and where the sun is connecting, well, shining on the rocks. It's just a gorgeous morning. The fog is lifting off the mountain. Beautiful, quiet spot. So check out these rocks here, right here along the riverbed. You can see where the sun doesn't hit them, and as you move towards where the sun is hitting the rocks, the colors shine through. Isn't that beautiful? Just trying to teach you to really be observant of things, and that'll make it a lot easier for you to learn how to paint them. A little walk down here, and then we'll get back up to the studio and work some more on the rocks. Maybe a little bit of the log. See, as I go into the shadows, the sun and the colors on the rocks fade, and then the sun brings out the colors, even down into the water. And then even on the twigs. See, wasn't that fun? We went on a little field trip, and my fingers are frozen. So I just wanted to share this with you so that you could really see. Oops, sorry. I really wanted to bring you down here to show you what I love so much when I'm painting. So I really observe my surroundings so that I can really get that feel of what things look like, all the details along the riverbed. Get my arm out of the way so you can see that. So, and the fog, how it lifts off the mountains. I just caught this morning's sun and the fog, so let's go back to the studio and do some practice. See you in a minute. So now I've got my oils out. Welcome back in. Got my little 1/2-inch round filbert. It's a nice flat brush, long, trying to come up with the words. The thing you hold it with. Oh, I'm funny. Okay, now I'm just putting some white on here at first, just to sort of keep those rocks down in the fog. Maybe start to add a little bit of the Naples yellow. And I'm just kind of start tinkering around with these little rocks, and they've got different shapes. Some of them are kind of oblong and oval shape, and this is the Naples yellow I'm adding in there on top of the white. I like to start with the lighter colors so that we don't get too deep in our contrast, because we don't want to pull those rocks forward until we really see where we want to start pulling them forward. Then I'll start adding those deeper colors. So I'm just going to keep with the lighter touch first and figure out where my rocks are, kind of make them the shapes that I want them. So I'm just going to keep pulling that paint down. I've got very little paint on my brush. You can see how they fade off as I kind of push them back a little bit. Using those darker colors I've already got on there. This painting took a long time. I mean, it's got still some things I want to do to it, so I just thought I'd give a little study on how to make these rocks come in and out. I might grab a little of that orange oxide, which is the darker brown color, and then there's cadmium orange. Kind of pull that in there a little bit, just right underneath those lighter colors. Not too much, just a bit at a time. I'm going slow here, just trying to figure out where I want things. This is real time. I'm just going to keep this at real time so you can really see what I'm doing. Just slowly adding those darker shadows. As I pull this in, I'm thinking here. I'm kind of popping my brush around to see where I want to sculpt in those rocks. Taking my time so I can really see how they're laying down in there. And if you go back and look at the river and watch those rocks, how their shapes vary and the way they lay down. And there's little rocks and big rocks. You don't want to. So that was a good practice to go out there and see that. Now I've got a little bit of ultramarine blue I'm adding in there. So I'm going to just sort of start shaping these rocks a little bit. Just tinkering around. And then I'll come in and start putting in those branches a little bit closer up. Got an itch. So I've sort of grabbed a little bit of the color off of each little pile. I've got some ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson on the bottom. And of course my white, Naples yellow, cadmium orange, and the orange oxide, which I'm dipping into right now with the Naples yellow. Kind of pushing those together. Just have to, it's all about experimenting. Just push that color around and just add it to that white base that you get in there with your rocks. And as you come forward with your rocks, you're going to get those colors a little deeper. I think I'm going to speed this up a little bit so we can really watch this emerge. So I've sped it up a bit so I don't bore you with all the little tiny tidbits that I do. I think I explained that pretty well, but let me know in the comments what you would like to know more about as far as painting rocks and twigs and branches and bringing that light from, as the rocks get hit by the light, it starts to bring out that color. So please be patient with me. I'm just learning editing, so I make a few mistakes here and there. On my last video, it was frustrating because CapCut, which is a platform I was using to edit, all of a sudden shut down, and I barely got that one video out with I didn't get any music in there, but I decided not to put any music in this one. But CapCut is back, thank goodness, and I'm able to stick with the platform I am learning rather than start on a new one, so yay! So I've got one tall rock there, as you can see. I'm starting to build a tall rock. And I'm just kind of building in those colors and shadows. Continuing on, bringing in a little bit of shadow. I haven't decided whether I want these rocks to pop out more, so I'm going to keep bringing in that lighter color again. And I keep playing with the shapes and sizes and keep looking at it, adding my white back in there if I think the rocks are coming forward too much. So I'm going to work my way back to that branch that's sticking down in the water. And I'm going to add a little color to that branch just to bring it in a little bit. Just keeping my mixture with white and really a little bit of paint, not too much paint. Always watch out for that. Now I'm bringing in those shadows in the foreground to pull these rocks forward, pinching that brush off to get a nice flat brush again. You don't want to ever grab the brush in the wrong direction because you don't want to mash it. You want to keep it flat and not too loaded with paint. Now I've decided I didn't want these rocks to pop out too much, and as I go down into the water I'm bringing in more light color like with the whites and things so that I can let that those rocks fade down into the fog that's settling down on the water. Now I've decided I was going to bring this branch forward a little bit, so I grabbed that ultramarine blue and crimson. Now I'm adding a little highlight on there just to bring that forward, and it kind of pushes the rocks back so I can really see and get the feel of that dimension, that contrast. Now I've got back to my lighter colors. I'm going to just soften in some color. No darker shadows did I grab. I only grabbed the Naples and just a little bit of the white just to bring that log out just a smidge. Now I'm going to just start bringing in a little bit more fog effect with the white and the ultramarine blue down in there as I work and shape all my rocks, and then I bring a little bit of contrasting shadow. Now I'm going to bring in this branch here and start pulling in the colors on the leaves to really pop this branch forward at you and strengthen those contrasting shadows, so that really pushes the water, the rocks back into the painting. That's really important to know. So the stronger and darker your shadows are in the foreground will pull your foreground forward, and the softer your contrasting shadows are, like in the rocks, that pushes your background back into the painting. So we're coming up. We're almost at the end. I want to really thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this. And let me know in the comments, and be sure and go to my website and sign up on my newsletter so you can know what's going on and keep in touch with me. Thanks again. So here's a little quick shot of how that looks now as I pull back the camera, so you can really get the feel of how the shadows in the foreground come out at you and pushes the rocks back. A lot like back over here on the left-hand side. As you start to see the rest of the painting, it starts to make sense. Ooh, sorry about that. That glare from the sunshine came pouring through. This is real, folks. This is just me editing on my own. So thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next video next week. Bye-bye.